Hey, Noville fans, and welcome back to another Q&A Wednesday. One of the questions that I wanted to touch on that I got here from a comment was, how long did it take for me to feel like that I was a permanent part of the family? So that is a very good question. How long did it take for me to feel like I was a part of the family? So there was a transitionary time, like I've mentioned in previous videos, where there was an assimilated time frame, I think, to where one, I had to learn the language. Two, I guess I had to really figure out who these people were that I was with. And I want to say that in the course of me learning the language, I think I kind of figured out what the dynamic was. And I think I understood that the parental units that were there were my parents, and I expressed that to them in Korean because I was still speaking Korean at the time, and called them Oma and Appa, which is Korean for mom and dad. And I think my mom understood what I was trying to convey to them in Korean. And so I don't think it took probably, I don't know, 7, maybe 8 months, I think, into the journey to finally figure out what I was there and who they were. And so I want to say probably less than a year that it took for me to realize that. So far as figuring out being a part of the family, like I mentioned last week's video with my sister, that she wasn't really much in the picture except for maybe the first year. After that, of course, she got married and stayed with us for a spell. And then after that, she was out of the house, and I was the only child for most of my time. And so it wasn't really much of a time of knowing I was a part of the family, besides just I really don't know. I think I've always felt like I was a part of the family. There wasn't a time or an aha moment, I guess, to where I was like, oh, guess I am a part. I think once I realized that they were my mom and dad, that was just it for me. And but there wasn't a light bulb going off in my head realizing that I was, that I was a part of it. And I was gladly opened, met with open arms by everybody on both my mom and dad's side of the families, with everybody, with both my grandparents and all the families there. So yeah, so far as being accepted pretty quickly, I would say it was pretty fast. And I would say, like I said, there really wasn't a special moment where I figured out that I was a part of the family. It was just, I just figured out that I was always a part of the family, and that's just kind of the way it was from there. So maybe the best way I could probably have the person to explain it is, let you talk to my mom, and maybe she can explain the aha moment better. So let's figure that out. Let's give old mom a call and see what she has to say.
Hello?
Hello?
What's up?
Nothing. What's up with you?
Nothing right now. Why?
Oh, hey, I'm working on my video for Wednesday's Q&A. I wanted to ask you a question from one of the things here that was asked. But the question for this week is, when did I feel like that I was a permanent member of the family? When do you think that I felt like that I would have been a permanent member of the family? Was there a time frame that I would have felt this way, or what, in your opinion, do you think that I felt like that I was a permanent member of the family?
Well, the first thing that jumps in my mind is, and I don't know how long you've been here then, when you called me and Larry mother and daddy in Korean,
Yeah.
when we were driving and we he was standing in the back between the seats, kind of.
Okay. So really, it was less than a year, though. I mean, because it took. That had to be. If I was still speaking Korean, then that means it was still less than a year time frame. Then.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. So it was pretty
I
early
mean,
on. Pretty early on.
yeah. I mean, it really touched us because, you punch me and call me mom, punch Larry and call him daddy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm telling, you're my mom and daddy now, type thing,
Yeah.
And, you didn't say it in English. And luckily I had learned those words off of that sheet that came with with Korean common words. You brought that with you. It was in your paperwork,
Yeah.
a paper that had Korean and what it meant in English for stuff like that,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
When you rattled off a lot of stuff, we didn't get it all because I didn't know what it meant,
Mm-hmm.
And I think one thing, when you just had only been here a couple of weeks, and when you were crying and I sang, Jesus loves me, but I don't know if that just soothed you, or I don't know if it made you remember Miss Jane or what,
Yeah.
but you stopped crying. You were okay then that day. I'm sure it was really frustrating to your little mind, like, what is going on,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that is one point that really touched me and Larry. And you were not really that shy in some ways because you were just it was also new to you, and you were determined to look it over good, everything you saw.
You're saying I was pretty curious about things, huh?
Yeah, like at school, and Miss Brown, she's like, you've got to do something about this kid. He just will not stay in line. We'll be lined up to go somewhere, and he's running over. They were doing construction at school, looking in a hole, or he ran up and kicked Mr. Everett. I don't know why you did that. But I don't know. I think, when you did all this, that means you were really inquisitive about everything,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I don't know. That's just one of the things. I can't think of anything else immediately.
Yeah, there wasn't really a moment of knowing. I think I was just really just
gradually.
Yeah. It was just a gradual process. There was, it's like I said, stated before that everybody had open arms and I was fully accepted, into the family. So there, to me, in my mind, I don't think that there was a point in time to where I felt that I was any different, that I wasn't a part of the family. I don't think that there wasn't, any part of that, of knowing that there was anything that was different, of knowing that. It was just that I just felt like I was, that I belonged once I knew that, that I guess that I was secure and knew that I wasn't.
Yeah, you had your own. We fixed a room for you. We wouldn't have done that if you were going to not stay,
Mm-hmm.
But do you remember anything at all when you were in Korea before you left?
Bits and pieces of stuff, but nothing.
Did they prepare you for where you you were going? Or
No, I
tell
don't
you
remember.
anything about it?
I
Or
don't
do
remember.
You remember?
I don't remember.
They didn't say you're going to your new home to
No,
America.
because if I did, it'd be all in Korean, and I don't remember any Korean,
Yeah,
so I wouldn't know what they were saying or whatever. So I don't remember. I wouldn't remember none of that. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, it's just like all the time as you learn more English, we just got more comfortable with each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can't pinpoint any one thing except when you declared that we were your mother and daddy.
Yeah. Well, that's what I figured. I figured that was the only point in time that I could remember that would have solidified that I understood where I was at, and I guess the strange white people that are there, who you guys were, and so I think once I knew that you guys were, we're the parents, then I figured that was the only time that I knew that.
And really, you really had never had a mom and dad per se that you remembered,
Yeah.
did you?
No.
So, but you had to learn that from watching TV, watching other families around, and, at church or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
school, different things like that.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to give you a call and kind of get your perspective on what this video on if there was a certain moment in time where, I guess in your mind, where I would have felt that I was a part of the family. But I figured that would have been the moment of whenever I called you guys mom and dad. That was the only thing that I could have, have thought of. But I didn't know if there was something else that you knew.
Probably you might have. Hey, when you stopped hiding food, that might have been an acceptance of your situation.
Probably too. Yeah.
Because you were hiding it because you wasn't sure you'd get any more, or you were, you thought you might need that to eat sometime.
Yeah.
But when you quit, you knew you were okay.
Well, how long was I doing that for then?
Well, not a long time.
So was it?
But it was,
So did I quit after a year?
Maybe. No, it was just months.
Oh, okay.
As far, I don't really know for sure because on some stuff that was all dried out, and I don't know how long it's been there.
I was making jerky.
You always liked jerky, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. That's the Korean way of doing things. We like to take things and dry it out because we like to dry fish and fruit and everything. Apparently, Koreans like to dry out all kinds of stuff, so that's the Korean way.
Well, the thing that I remember mostly, was ham, maybe a biscuit or two. Something like that, you know. But mostly I remember pieces of ham and maybe hamburger, like a hamburger patty, part of that or something. But I can't remember how long that time frame was of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it, straight from the word of mom's mouth there. So apparently, whenever I made the acknowledgement of calling them mom and dad, and then also stopped hiding my food, I guess that's when it became apparent that I figured out that I was a part of the family and knew that I wasn't going anywhere. And I guess that was it. So according to her, that was when I figured things out real quickly. So that had to be, like she was saying, and what I figured out had to be within that first year because I was still speaking speaking Korean, so I didn't learn English yet at that time. So it was a pretty fast transition apparently, and so yeah. Hopefully that answers that question there on today's Q&A. But yeah, drop me a comment on some more Q&As that you have for me, and I'll be sure to try to get those answered for you. I'll try to get Mom on more, I guess, because she's got a better memory than I do, and she'll know more of what was going on at that time frame than I do as a kid, because the kid things, I just don't recall most of that, because I just don't remember half of what was going on. So she knows more about that stuff than I do, so I can get her on the horn and have her to recall all the things going on from there. So, but yeah, any other comments or whatever, or questions and stuff that you want me to answer for Q&As, drop them down below, and I'll get to them. So thanks again for this one, and we'll catch you on the next one. We'll see ya. Thanks. Toodles.